do a little, Hi, here we are again. It is August 3rd, 2022, and we're here on the Earth Nouveau Hub. Our usual intrepid co-host Martina Grumulier is not here this week, so we are working with Amy, Lana, Alfredo, and myself, Tanya Corona. And we were just talking about what it is to be a practitioner. And so a practitioner is someone who practices. What are you practicing, right? Are you practicing your daily practice? So go ahead, Amy, and say what you were saying about that.
Okay, so I I go to, like, when Andrew says something about, he said the talking stick show about practitioners. I always go to practitioners who have it as a business. That's why I was asking the question. But I knew deep down that it was like everybody is a practitioner on their own, in their own way. Like you said, the daily practice. So it's a practicing of spirituality or spiritual journey. So yeah.
And charting how how that's working in your life on a day-to-day
Yeah.
basis. And sometimes it's a moment-to-moment basis.
Mhm.
And how are you showing up for yourself, right, in
Yeah.
your practice? Right. And for someone
Yeah.
like myself who works with clients, right, I show up for myself, but I also show up for other people that I'm
Mhm.
working with. So
Yes.
I'm doing that practice, but I'm also doing my personal practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I was saying before the recording started, that there are different types of practitioners. And so you have the metaphysical practitioner, and you can have the medical practitioner, and you can have, whatever, as Tanya said, is what you're following, your practice that you're following. And, you can be your own personal practitioner, and then you can be a practitioner like Tanya is for clients.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Great.
what are you thinking, Alfredo, about a practitioner? You're on mute.
You're muted, huh?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, to me, because yeah, I get. Oops. To me, I guess it's like working with the unseen realms, like mastering your reality, in all angles, because we have that multidimensional perspective. So practitioner working with the unseen, and yeah, just being like in the creationary mode, like working with everything type of. That's my perspective. But
Mhm.
I mean, of course, I'm not a hands-on healer, but I'm definitely a multidimensional whatever I'm doing. So that's the way I see it.
Well, I mean, I think you are a hands-on healer in a way,
Mhm.
right? The way that you are adding prayers and mindfulness to the work that you do, right? With the butchery and the cutting of the meat, right? Because your practice affects everyone who's eating what you are
Yeah,
cutting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that,
yeah,
that's the pebble in the pond that's rippling out, that's the outward effect that you have on the work that you're doing, the people that are receiving that.
yeah.
Mhm.
To me, it's a divine responsibility, and like always, like, oh, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? And it's like Andrew's like, we can have multiple purposes. We can have all different type of purpose. So I've been seeing things from different angles. It's like, okay, I'm not exactly where I want to be right now, but like right now, I have, what brings meaning to my life, in my day to day activities, like. And I was thinking about it because, listening to Linda, it's like you do something, what are you bringing meaning to in your life? And I was thinking about, it's like, well, there's things in my aspects of my job that I really enjoy and appreciate, and I have this like drive and vigor to do it because I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about health foods. I'm passionate about healing and regenerating my body and taking care of it, because I know the more I take care of myself, the more it nurtures and nourishes other people around me. So it just takes. I see it all around me. I see the reflections around me. People come into my field, they have the smile, they're happy, the
Mhm.
joy, all this stuff, and like I know what I bring. So I'm very passionate about cutting when I come into work. And some of these foods that I've been consuming, especially, I'll take a moment to give thanks to everybody, because everybody has helped me in this community, helped me to get where I am right now. And I'm very passionate about, cutting beef liver, cutting, the marrow bones, hanging the dry aged steaks, because I love the way they taste. They're so delicious. And I want to share that passion, share that joy with other people. And I make it a point to, like, that's one of my purposes in the place I work. Yeah, granted, it's within a corporation, but I'm still going to put my imprint upon it in my own way, my own frequency. And I know that anybody who's going to eat it, they're going to taste that love, And I've been stepping up my cutting a little bit. I got myself a new knife.
Oh
Ooh.
my gosh.
Call them the bull. It's a
Wow.
bullnose knife. So I just been,
Ooh.
stepping that up more. And the mastery never ends. You get to a level of mastery, and you can just keep going and going and going. And I've just been stepping it up, just making good stuff. I brought, probably see right here, some delicious bone marrow. I swear by this stuff, because this stuff is regenerative. It's so, like, that's raw grass-fed bone marrow. It's just delicious. It's,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very nice.
mm.
Well, and I
It's
can
healing. It's
see.
regenerative. Instant energy. It's good stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I can see
I'll go ahead.
too, right? The person coming into your store and saying, "Oh no, I want that. I want that
Mm.
piece of meat. That one that Alfredo cut as opposed to this one over here," right? There's like a choice of whoever you're working with, right? Who resonates with the things that you've touched.
Yeah, I see it, especially because I'm high frequency or high vibe to, like, in a certain state, like, certain people come to the store, I notice. And when I'm not, they don't. But then when I am, they start flocking in left and right, and I feel the energy surges at work. I'm like, oh snap, the energy's ramping up, and the intensity start occurring. Before you know it, all these people, these healthy people that are, I guess, like signature frequency matches, just start swirling in. Yeah, it happens. I see it happen.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I love the interactions with other people, being passionate about this stuff, because there's a lot of people on that bone marrow and liver train because of Liver King, and he's inspired me to step my game, so step it up even further. So I want to carry on that to other people as well. Yeah, his passion ignites my passion, which ignites other people's passion. It's just this ongoing blossom of passion, and people invigorated,
And when
Alfredo,
you're,
oh,
go ahead.
oh, I just wanted to ask if you write your recipes down as like a form in your journal, do you write them like when you're making your bone marrow?
I used to back in the day when I was going through intense candida, because I was always trying to alchemize and find ways to get out of this candida suffering that I was going through for years. It was just totally destroying my life. I mean, not destroying my life. I had destroyed it in the first place. I'm the one that brought it upon myself. But I was writing down my recipes, what worked with candida, what didn't work. And yeah, I would make sauerkraut recipes, bone marrow recipes. I like to mix bone marrow with all sorts of different foods because it adds a unique flavor. Cook it raw, whatever. It's, not so much anymore. I mostly make, prayers or revocations, invocations, or put my own little spin, because I like Andrew's material, but once you do it so many times, it's like, all right, I've read this so many times, I got to make my own, because it doesn't have the same illumination effect that it used to when I first started using it. So
Yeah.
It's kind of a responsibility for all of us to step up, because they're just blueprints. They're blueprints for us to expand upon and
Yeah.
take them to the next level.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, because he said that you can use his revocation, excuse me. But then, oh my goodness, excuse me. But then you add to his, or you make your own after you've sort of done all of his and perhaps outgrown those revocations. Then you create your own, and, or you keep adding words to the ones he's already done. So that's what you're doing, Alfredo. And that proves that Alfredo is awake.
Yeah. I'm creating my own stuff and it feels good. Yeah, I know I'm awake. I actually wrote some stuff too, if y'all want to listen.
Yeah.
I brought all kinds of stuff, because I was like, I got to step it up because Martina's not here. So in case I got to lead or whatever, I wrote a whole bunch of stuff. I was just nonstop for a week, just writing like crazy after I saw the armadillo.
Before you go on and read your stuff off it, I just want to mention one more thing that I thought about while you guys were talking. Practitioner, going back to practitioner. we as a collective on the Art Nouveau Hub, we are, to me, we are like a collective practitioner, because we are providing a service, and people who would listen to it, perhaps they'll get some form of clarity or healing or whatever. So that, in essence, is a type of practitioner, right?
Yeah.
So you're, yeah,
We make the ripple
yeah.
effect.
Well,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I mean, just the simple act of meeting every week, right? And talking about our own explorations in consciousness, right? Redefinition of words, right? An awareness of how we're interacting with Earth Mother, right? That is a practice in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's that show from yesterday. Andrew talked about the connection to the Earth Mother again, how she's sending out that energy to like this nurturing energy to call you back in, and I kind of like that.
So I really loved, Alfredo's, talks about the armadillo, right? Because it really made me think a little more deeply about how we're working with those messages from Mother Earth in the form of the spirit animals.
Yeah, in the form of an armadillo
Hmm.
or a
Yeah.
squirrel. I had an
Yeah.
interaction, with a squirrel a few days ago, whereby I was sitting outside and I had just eaten, so I had this paper napkin, with me, and the squirrel um, was sitting on the branch with his legs all sprawled out, all 4 legs, and it was just resting there. But his attention was drawn onto me, and he was looking at me, and so I decided to interact with it. So I took the napkin and I opened it up and I started to shake the napkin, like I'm flying a flag or something. And lo and behold, it was just staring straight at me for minutes. And I was just doing all these strange antics, with the napkin, and it was just staring there at me and staring and staring, and it was so focusing on me. And then it's like, okay, that's enough, woman. I'm done with this shit. And then it turned its head, and then suddenly it turned back again and started looking at me more intensely. And it said, okay, I got it. That's enough. I'm moving on from here now. And it left, jumped from one tree to the next. So that was, I felt like that was an interaction with an animal spirit, because it was just so focused on what I was doing and how I was trying to communicate with it, because they're so intelligent, these squirrels.
Well, and I, just real quick looked up the spiritual meaning of squirrel,
Mm-hmm.
and what the little, like summary says is time to get socializing.
Well, I certainly was.
You've been hiding far too long. Mhm, mhm.
Well, I was waving this, and the napkin was white, so I was waving the white napkin, and I was thinking, oh, I'm surrendering to this. Here is my surrendering flag,
Oh.
Great.
Yeah, those interactions with the animals are interesting. I didn't really look in. I mean, I read the thing about the armadillo. It was really cool, but all I know is I saw the armadillo right after the show from last week, and then I was going to meditate, and I see the armadillo come up. He's like, his little ears like looking around. He got like right next to me, like literally like 2 or 3 feet away from me. I was like, what the heck? And I just had that instant thought, like I should talk during the Earth Nouveau gathering. So it's like, okay, or whatever. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. And then the next day or the day after that, like I went to go meditate, and sure enough, I hear rustling around the corner, like that picture that I took, and another armadillo came by, and I was like, oh, another armadillo. I was like, oh, All right, okay, I'll just say something. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but I'm just gonna, bring some energy, and we're gonna just have a good old time. And Martina can sit back and enjoy all the, she needs a break. She's always holding space for us every
Right,
week. So it's like,
right.
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah.
take the responsibility to be leaderships and, have a moment for her to sit back and relax and watch us, be childish and foolish or whatever, Have fun.
When the cat's
Yeah.
away, the mice will play.
Mhm.
Yeah. Exactly. The energies will be changing because Martina's not here. Every time someone's here or not there, like the energies of the
Uh-huh.
meetings change,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Something I've noticed working around tons of people. Every single person adds a certain thing or crazy energy or calming energy or whatever. I just gotten so used to being on all these different types of energies. I'm just like an empowered armadillo when I come around these situations. I just got my goodies in case I need them. If shit hits the fan, I got, my medicines, all sorts of things with me just in case things go crazy, because I'm so passionate about gut health, because my gut health goes down, that's when things start trying to come in. I'm just like, oh shit, I'm feeling weak. And then that's when people start flocking me, oh this, oh that. And then I'm like, oh man, here they come. Like I got to be on top of my gut health. Otherwise I can't maintain that intestinal fortitude for extended period of time to like be the master of my reality. Because when my free, whatever hits, when things, when I have like open back doors or whatever, people, things will come in. They'll try to come in, and I gotta just be fortified.
Well, that's what I thought of when you said the armadillo. I thought of your armor. Like, is that what you do? You
Yeah.
use the armor of the armadillo. That's what was it that you saw that he's showing you
Um,
for now? Like in that moment, what was happening?
I don't know. He's just such a gentle creature, so cute, and then he's got the armor, of course, but he has no fear about venturing out. And I feel like the armadillo, as I think about it, it's like over time, I'm gonna say it right now because I wrote this down because it's the truth. I've been for the longest time. I listened to Andrew and Amir and David. They're like, ladies and gentlemen, in the spiritual community, we have spiritual narcissists. We have this, we have that, and I was like, oh, that can't be me. There's no way. But I was like, thinking about it, and I was seeing the mirrors and the mirrors and messengers in my reality, being more aware of them. I was like, man, I am the spiritual narcissist, because when I got into spirituality stuff, I just started labeling things, defining things, like, oh, this person's energy, this person that person broke my trust. Fuck that person. I don't trust them anymore. Get the fuck out of my energy field. I don't want to talk with you because I don't trust you anymore. And just closing my heart off over time, and just like losing trust with myself, losing trust with others, and then just becoming this spiritual narcissist. And like, getting pulled in the office every week at work because they're like, oh, what's going on with you, Fredo? You got a lot of stuff on your mind. It's like, no, I don't got nothing on my mind. I'm just because of you guys over here. You're crazy. But it's like, it was me the whole time, and I just couldn't see it. And I had to like take a step back and just start just observing every little thing, like the subtleties of my actions, my words, even the subtleties of my bodily motions. Because I notice when certain people come around, I know my body will like try to avoid or try to do this. It'll do these things, these like repetitions. So it's like, why am I getting this, subtle fears or subtle bodily changes? I'm not saying anything, but I'm noticing my body's like, it shifts out of that flow state, and it gets like disharmonious. I'm like, oh, I'm losing it. I gotta. So the armadillo, the cute, loving creature, it's like, being more open-hearted, going out there, but also being prepared at the same time, Of course, with my fortifications, crystals, foods, whatever it is, or my practices, just not afraid to have fun, not afraid to have the experience, and just get out there,
Yeah, it's almost
Instead
like
of just me closing my
it's
heart
almost
off.
that's kind of what he does. He just kind of goes out there because he knows he's got his protection or his, spiritual tools with him. That's how it looks to me. Like, that's why he's not afraid to go anywhere. Like you, Alfredo, you've learned that now you can go anywhere and be with anybody.
Yeah, so I used to live normally. That was just the normal lifestyle. Me just like go here, go there, go everywhere. No fear of nothing. Just living in the discomfort zone all the time because it was fun. It was exciting. It's joyful. I got so sick of, being in the room all the time. I was like, I just got to go out there and have experiences. It just doesn't matter what happens. Just every day was something. It was, always fresh, always something new. And it's important to keep going out there. Have that, embrace that discomfort. Go out there and have the experience. Don't be closing yourself off. And that's something I've been learning and relearning and teaching myself. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's awesome.
yeah, that's my take on the armadillo. Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I like too that you should when you show up here on the hub, you're out in nature.
Mhm.
I gotta be. It's just I can't. I mean, I'll go ahead and go to this because it gives me a moment to. I was planning on just taking the talking stick the whole time, but I was like, nah, I gotta. I'll see how the energies flow. But out in nature because I'll go ahead and get into half presence because. Oh wait, no, hold up. Yeah, so like last week I was hmm, no, yeah, I have to, because like being around, my partner, my kids, their energies, they're intense. So I got to be super fortified, especially Malik, Elroy. Their energies. Malik has the most intense, screeching, piercing screams ever. Like I've never been around any other person that has such an intense like. Just like it just like pierces you. It goes straight for your nervous system. I don't know. It's
Mhm.
intense, and if you're not grounded or fortified, that'll just throw you off course. And being in nature is like the only place where I feel like grounded and connected, and like you know, I'm in my energy. And I've noticed I've been trying to mix energies throughout my trying to take Malik out for an adventure while still being connected to the Earth Nouveau Hub. It's like half presence, half presence with him, have presence with y'all. And it's just like, I can't be doing this anymore. I can't be doing this stuff. It's a disservice to myself. It's just a disservice to Malik. It's a disservice to y'all. It's a disservice to Elroy. Even Elroy called me out on this like a few days ago. And it was just like, it really hit me and struck me because I was like, he's like, oh, Luigi. He wanted to play Luigi's Mansion with me. I was like, all right. It's like, all right, let's go play some Luigi's Mansion. We're playing, having fun. And then I realized, I was like, oh, I got to pull my phone out. I was like, oh, cool. Andrew's got a show with Sean David Morton. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to listen to that. Yeah, so it's cool information, expanding my awareness. Awesome. But then in the meantime, Elroy's like getting upset with me. It's like, why are you so upset, Elroy? He's like, It's like, go sit down. Go sit down. I was like, what? I'm over here playing games with you. What do you mean? Go sit down. He already knows I'm half present. And when that moment happened, I was like, man, I just went and sat down. I was like, he's right. I'm not even fully present for him. I'm not fully present in all these things I'm doing. So I'm still caught on this fucking phone. And this phone has just been running my life. I had that dream that I had a few weeks ago where I saw myself in the third person perspective after I was listening to Linda. She brought all this awareness into my frequency. And just seeing myself in that dream, like playing on my phone and lucidly and vividly, like so colorful and vivid. I was like, just the sight of it was just disgusting. I was so disgusted at myself. I was like, God, this is my life right here. Instead of me being fully present with my people around me, I'm over here fucking around on this phone. And I'm just like, that's why I'm glad they had that show with Dale, Maddie, Laura, Andrew, and Amir, because it's just the truth. A lot of our generation's caught up in the phone. It's just total distraction. I was so good when I was in meditation because I made it a point. I turned this phone off. The only time I turned it on was when I checked my messages here and there, and I turned it off because I demonized it at the moment. I was like, no, this thing's the demon. Just get away from me, phone. I don't want to be nothing around you because you just pull my presence away. And I had to remember that and relearn that. I was like, yeah, I got so comfortable being away from it. And then my partner's like, oh, you got to have your phone on because if something happens and you're not there and you always got your phone off all the time, I was like, oh, all right, I'll turn my phone back on. Before you know it, I'm like using the phone again. And it's like, oh, you know what? Oh, check out this beautiful art on Instagram. Check out this beautiful. And then before you know, I'm stuck on it again. It's like I'm checking my Facebook, checking my Instagram, checking this. It's just, it's got its place and purpose, but
It's
so
almost like
to just put it down. Go ahead, Amy.
no, it's what you said about the phone and turn it on because something might happen. It's almost like we lose our intuitiveness then, because if we are connected to our kids or our husbands or boyfriends or girlfriends, I mean, we know if something's going to happen intuitively. So, I mean, that's how I grew up. My mom just let us go, just go play, come back when the streetlights come on. And, she didn't seem to be worried at all. So
She was
it's a
probably happy to
balance.
have the time.
Oh yeah, there was 8
her
of
own
us.
time. Yeah.
There was 8 of us. So yeah, go play. She locked the door, But just getting back to that, it made me think like the balance between the phone, because technology is good in a way when it's not abused, and it's
Exactly.
sometimes abusing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we got to be aware of when you're abusing it. And your phone tells you how long you've been on your phone. It gives you the data of what you're looking at. So thanks, Alfredo. But
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing, I need my phone because I wear a medical device. So I need mine near me. I have to have it to sleep near me. But so I can't really turn it off. Otherwise, I don't get my data. So that's an annoyance, but I'm learning to work with it in a way that that's not like I gotta have it with me. I gotta have it with me. It's more like it's my pal.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on what you're doing with it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is emitting, right? Emitting a signal, emitting a Wi-Fi signal,
Right.
emitting a
Yeah.
Bluetooth signal.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny. My husband and I were watching a movie last night, and I looked over at him, and he's got his phone next to him watching the Giants game, and then his iPad on his lap playing solitaire while we're watching the movie. I'm like, okay, I know you have ADD, honey, but
Yeah. Exactly.
My husband too. There you go.
yeah, yeah,
Jeez, I don't feel alone.
yeah.
I
Is
have
he
the
a
same
scientist?
experience.
No,
Carter's
No.
he's
same as
sort. I
well.
mean, sort of. He does camera work. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So I was
mine's an
always like
engineer.
looking at the way things are being shot, things are being lit, things are
Oh,
being
yeah.
like staged and yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
So
But
yeah.
coming back to the phone that Alfredo was talking about, you just have to discipline yourself with the phone, because you don't want the phone to run your day. You have to be in charge. You have to be the sovereign being and have control of all the elements and things around you.
Mhm.
So, but in your case, Amy, I understand that part.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most people, you don't really need that phone all the time to control your life. Just leave
Well,
it
and
alone.
yeah, I mean, this kind of brings up the other point that Alfredo was talking about being present,
Mm-hmm.
right? Being present and how much do we give how much time do we spend giving 100% of our attention to anything, 100% of our presence to anything, right? And in this like very fast moving, distractive world, right? It's we have been trained, right, to not be present, right, to not listen, to be listening to this and to be listening to this and this. Like you were saying, Alfredo, you were listening to the show and saying, but no, here I am with you, playing with you, right? But we're not, and that's one of the things that like I don't have kids, but I have a dog, and if I'm not present with her and playing with her, she tells me, you're not
Yeah.
playing with
Right?
me. You're not paying attention to me. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching a YouTube video of Americans Got Talent, I think it was, with Simon. And this little girl, she's 5 years old, and she came from a family of musicians. But um, she came on the show, and she was at that point the youngest contestant, I believe. And so Simon asked her, so what if you win, the $1 million, which is the prize, right? And what are you going to do with it? And she turned and she said to him, I don't care about the money. What I care about is about singing. That's why I'm here. I want to make people happy. I want to sing. I don't care about the money. I don't, she doesn't have any concept of money yet, or anything like that. So she wasn't concerned about money. That's not why I'm here. I am here for the joy of singing because I love singing. And that was her answer. And that was such a cool answer, I thought, because it came directly from her heart and her purity. And I thought that was such a, if we could all answer like that, to questions that are being presented to us, because we're so um, uh, programmed to focus on the money aspect of everything, making the money. What are you doing for humanity if you're just simply focusing on the money aspect of everything, right? But this little girl, she wasn't focusing on money. That's not her concern. I don't care for money. I don't care if I win or I don't win the money, right? It was about the joy of her singing. That's what she wanted to do. She wanted to make people happy. And she had such a beautiful voice. Ah, it was amazing when I listened to her singing. But I wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah.
I like that because it makes me think about this Alan Watts quotes. He's like, if money was irrelevant and you could do anything you want, what would you do? And I love that quote. Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Thank you, Lon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one of the teachings I think that Andrew is trying to bring to us as well, is that focus on what is right and what is true for humanity and yourself, and all else will just fall away. I mean, yes, we do need money because we are put in a system where money rules, right? Um, but that's domination and control is governing all that. So we don't necessarily have that free will in their reality to not have the money in front of our face all the time, right?
Mhm.
Well, I
So,
think, I think too, sure, we have to pay our rent, pay our
mhm,
mortgage, buy food, you know, do things that we want to do. But, I look at like my life and I probably, if I had more money, maybe I'd travel more, but I think I'd be doing the same
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
If I had a lot more money, I'd take everyone I know on like a cruise to Tahiti, but
Oh yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
The
wanna go to
beautiful tropical places of the world always
Yeah.
call me. Swimming in that beautiful blue water. That's really,
Mm.
really healing for me to be in the water.
Mm-hmm.
when talking about
really.
money, I always wonder about that one recording that Andrew did several years ago, I think back in 2013 or 2014, where there was an issue in Cyprus where they had financial problems. And he said that the Earth Mother came alive and she injected the banking money system with uh, the love virus. They nicknamed it the love virus. And I always wondered whatever happened to that love virus,
Mm.
because everything that particular love virus would touch in the money system, in the banking industry, um, it will get infected by that love virus, and the money would change.
I mean, I think we can work with money to change it, especially if you're working with cash, right? You can
Mhm.
say prayers and you know magnify the cash in your wallet. A little harder to do with credit cards, but uh, create a prosperity box, right,
Mhm.
where you're putting cash and prayers and things that help magnify your abundance, right? Whether it be crystals or letters to prime creator, right, about what you're creating and how that's spiraling out.
Mm.
For
Yeah.
me, it all starts within the portal of the heart, which is almost like that black hole within the center of the galaxy, that place of unlimited potential, right? Where then all of a sudden the intention creates the energetic flow behind it. To let it
Yeah.
flow forward.
Yeah, I think Linda was talking about something like what you just said, the flow. I don't know if Alfredo, if you heard this one of Linda's, but she was talking about currency.
All of them.
And yeah, oh, the currency. Do you remember her talking about the currency? How you get to make it flow. And I think she burned a $20 bill like on.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
heard about it. I don't think I listened to that one, but I heard about that one.
Yeah. I made notes, but I don't have them with me. But yeah, so she's like, she talked about abundance and the difference between abundance and what it means, as far as it doesn't mean anything about money.
Right.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just, and
It
she
has to do
burned
with energy
Right.
flow, right?
energy flow,
The
currency.
current of energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Flowing in and flowing out.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Well, and I mean, I think for any abundance system to work, right, we have to be tapped in, right? Tapped into Earth Mother, right? Because that love virus that Earth Mother inserted into the banking system, right, she inserts into all of us when we're grounded, when we're present, when we're connected. Right? So put up
She's
the
always
picture.
giving.
Yeah, always giving, and always receiving and transmuting. Right. That's one of the things that I talk a lot about with my clients because mostly people are ungrounded. They don't have that connection to earth, right? In the earth star chakra or in the root chakra. And once you get that connection, once you align with Mother Earth and all of your chakra systems, it's like, again, working with that heart of earth is like aligning with the heart of the sun and the heart of the galaxy and your heart, and there's a oneness there. So then you be able to connect to that flow of all of these beautiful sentient elemental beings, right? And you start working in conjunction, right? Together with, as opposed to. Yeah.
I like the
Hey.
visual that you gave once about plugging into the Earth Mother and using your feet as the docking station, and you
Yeah.
plug yourself right in. I like that concept. That's a good visual to have. That our feet are the two docking points that you plug into the Earth Mother.
Well, and Earth is it's a it's a multi-directional portal, right? So you can release energy to Earth and it works like compost for her. You don't ever have to feel bad about releasing energy to Earth. But then you can bring that Earth energy up into your body. And in doing that, you're not only bringing the Earth energy, you're bringing all of the elements. You're bringing the fire and the water and the air and the ether, the space, right? And the presence of the animals, right? Which are messages from Earth, right? The presence of the trees, which are so sentient and help with help with grounding, help with presence, help with longevity, right? That feeling of agelessness. Like, how long does a tree last? I have fruit trees in my yard that were, I think, planted during World War II. In San Francisco, there are the instead of having individual lots like we do now, the spaces were open so people could share food in community. So a lot of fruit trees were planted during those really scarce times where there was all kinds of rationing, right, during World War II, so people could have abundant food. So now I've got apple, pear, plum, lemon, orange, fig tree in my yard, and and a peach tree too. That one's new. But the trees, I mean, over 150 years old, right? Some of them.
I'd love to have all those kinds of trees in my yard, but it's too cold here. They don't survive the winter.
There's fruit trees you can plant though.
There's certain kinds, but
My
not
sister
like
in
figs and stuff like that.
no, not the figs, but you could do fig in a pot and then roll it inside during the winter time, or create a greenhouse. You know,
Yeah.
like the French created the orangerie for all of their orange trees.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the luxury of that either. A
Mm.
greenhouse to roll them in the winter.
Cool.
So we do what we can. We plant what we can out here, and you know.
Yeah, I think my sister in her yard in Wisconsin has peaches and cherries and apples, I think.
Hmm. Probably the cherry though is like more of the sour kind, because the sweet cherries, the zone here is just one zone difference in number,
I'm not
and the
sure. I think
sweetest
she has a
cherries.
weeping cherry tree.
Okay.
I don't
Because
know what the
the
photos
sweet
say.
cherries, they won't survive the winter here.
Mhm.
And for the south, maybe, but not where
Well, all with all of her trees, she needs to pick the harvest before the squirrels get them.
I'm at. Absolutely. So, so
So,
Alfredo, you wanted to talk about the armadillo medicine. Is there anything else you want to say about that,
Oh no,
or you want to rant about something? Said you got stuff written down
yeah,
before we go
that was
too far off topic.
I was, yeah, for a while I was like, I'm gonna take control of this meeting. I'm gonna be the talking stick the whole time. But I was like, nah, you just chill out, bro. Just see how things play out. I don't even know who's gonna come and show up. So, yeah, I had where's my journal? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I brought it. And I just wanted to say before we kind of veered off into it, nothing wrong with going on tangents, but just want to say that, you know, full presence for anybody and everybody is the greatest gift you can give to anybody. You know, just it's just so important to be fully present, whatever you're doing, fully engaged. I notice a lot of the reasons why I haven't been able to progress is because I'm just caught up in my mind all the time. I'm like doing something, but they caught up in my mind. It's just so important to be fully present in whatever you're doing, whether it's, you know, anything. Full presence, that's what occurs when it happens. Especially when I'm massaging myself. Gotta shut that mind off so you can get the body to release, you know? So I haven't been able to get those super releases like I used to get all the time because I was always just zoned in my body internally. I would just focus on all the feeling sensations when I'm deep breathing and just get these super releases, super relaxed, and just go super inwards for, you know, my heart's racing, like boom, boom, boom. I feel in my heart physically, you know, I feel it surging through my entire body. Haven't been able to do that because I'm so caught up in my mind while trying to do it and just didn't ever work out. So full presence, you know, with focus, intention. I'll go ahead and veer off into the little thing that I wrote because that's my own little creation and like to, or you know what? Yeah. Yeah, let's go with that. So, you know, I was like, let me talk about this crystal I just got, but we can also, the crystal is definitely one of the things that have been able to help me shift out of the stagnancy. I got out of getting into new crystals for a while. So I'm like, the only crystals I need, or I tried a lot of crystals. I was like, oh, there's different crystals. And then I got, I eventually listened to this video for Judy Hall. It's like, you know, the crystal master. She's like, oh, you only need like 1 or 2 crystals. And it's like, the only crystals, the powerhouse crystals are like black tourmaline, shungite, brandenburg, and something else. And I was like, oh, so I got those crystals and I pretty much just swore by them and just like attached to them. It's like, oh, black tourmaline for my gut health, shungite for EMS, and just like hanging on to those belief systems and attachments to the crystals for so long. It's like, man, my gut health is so good right now. I don't need black tourmaline as much as I used to. I don't, you know, I'm not as sensitive to EMS like I used to be. I don't need this shungite. Just finally just dropping those for a second, dropping that frequency. And because it's so easy. I mean, for me, it was easy to just get caught up like, oh, I gotta have this, otherwise I can't go there. I gotta have this,
Yeah.
otherwise, you know, there's these attachments or belief systems we have attached to people, places, or things, or whatever. And it's like growing out of that. Okay, drop the crystals. You know, I got new experiences, man. I wrote this down. I've
Alfredo,
been
before you continue, I
getting
want to
better
ask
about
one.
grilling myself. Go ahead.
I want to ask one question about that. and maybe Tanya
Yeah.
might know the answer to this. Uh, you were saying about the crystals that you have, which you the tourmaline and the shungite, etc.
Yeah.
That you've come to a point where you don't really need them like you used to. Um, do we incorporate in our own frequency the frequency of those crystals? And that
Yes,
is why we don't really need them as much anymore.
you are the crystal, and the crystal is you. So anytime you spend time
Mhm.
working with crystal energy,
Mm.
you take that in to your energy field and become that and resonate with the energy of it.
Mhm.
So
So you
even
become,
just you can go to a crystal show or a crystal fair and just handle the crystals that you feel guided to handle, and that energy will resonate in your energetic field. You can set the intention, right, to bring that energy into your body,
Mhm.
into your energy field.
And also, I'd say add to that, sometimes like this one crystal that I had, it was pretty big. It wanted to go outside in my garden. Like it would kept saying outside, outside, outside. So it's kind of cool. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of cool. Because I have them, so they want to move around. They don't want to stay in, like, I don't like to stay in the same place. So why would they? So that's kind of cool.
so
Yeah,
that,
they'll
so
even
that,
jump out of your bag and jump out of your pocket, this portal dimension, and totally disappear. Even if you
Totally
spend money on them.
disappear
Like, oh,
and
I just
then
got this
reappear
crystal
or
hanging out
not.
for a few. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
I had a,
Exactly. It's so weird.
I had a shungite in my pocket um, more than a year ago, one morning, and it was blended with silver. So it was tumbled in 100% silver or 99% silver, and then I purchased that piece of shungite. So I had it in my pocket that morning. I walk up the stairs to put it away, take it out of my pocket and put it down. And when I reach into my pocket to get the shungite out of my pocket, it wasn't there. And to this day, I can't find it. It disappeared within that one, like 30 seconds from walking from
You know,
downstairs to upstairs to where I need to put it down. It just vanished. And
The
as I said,
pocket portal.
yeah, to this
portal.
day, this day, I've never found it. It never came back, never returned. So,
I was working on a client one time and I was working with some pink tourmaline with her heart chakra. And when I was done, removed all of the crystals and where did that pink tourmaline go? And I looked around for it and I looked under the table. I thought maybe it had fallen off. Oh, that's a nice piece of watermelon tourmaline that Alfredo has there.
Oh,
that's
And
cute.
the pink tourmaline, it never reappeared. Right. And I asked her, I said, can you shake out your sweater a little bit? Because I think a piece of pink tourmaline was on you and now it's not, and it wasn't on her. It had just like, it's almost like her heart portal just absorbed it.
oh my God. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it.
awesome.
I
And
love
this
it.
this piece of shungite that I had that disappeared, when I got the shungite, I looked at it had more like a sort of a flat bottom, and then it had like a triangular shape on the other side. But on the back side of it, which was more flat, there was an actual face on the back of it,
Mm.
right? So the person I purchased it from, I took a picture of it and I sent it to him. And I said, hey, look, did you see this before you send it to me? That there was a face in the back? And he said, no, but that's pretty cool that you noticed it. And so it had some sort of a consciousness attached to it before it came to me. because when I spoke to the person I got it from, he did that. He would go out into the woods, and then he would ask the elementals if they would like to come into the crystal, and they accepted it to get there. And so the face that I saw was of one of them on the back side of it. So I do have a photograph of it, you know? So that's the only memory I have of a visual of the actual piece that disappeared.
Well, and
Wow.
it was just as you were talking about it, it was showing me where it went, which is
Uh-huh.
around the fire pit at the Earth Nouveau Hub and Hollow Earth.
Mm,
Oh my God.
After
awesome.
everybody is maybe.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You're
Yeah.
kidding me, Tanya.
Mm-mm. No.
No, I'm trying to think if I had that piece before Art Nouveau Hub existed.
Yeah, but Earth Nouveau Hub has always existed in the minds and
Yeah.
hearts of
Of
us.
that
Mm-hmm.
elemental.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a collective? Did it show itself as a collective, or did it show itself as an individual? And what type of an elemental being is it, or is it
Yes,
not?
it's both. It's both. It's
It's
because it's
elemental.
the crystal. It's what it is really is the cooperation
Hmm.
of the earth elemental spirits.
And it went to Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth.
Mm,
Oh my
awesome.
gosh. That is so interesting.
Mhm.
That's
It just
great.
disappeared from my pocket, within 30 seconds, just vanished.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like my connection um, to Hollow Earth there now,
I think.
in Art
Yeah.
Nouveau Hub, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the proof that to validate that now.
You're there.
Hmm.
Cool.
Grounding part of you there. Yeah.
That is
Wow.
so cool.
Cool.
Wait
Awesome.
till Martina hears
Yeah.
that.
Did you paint that, Alfredo?
Oh no, it's just the journal I bought. I buy so many damn journals. I just block in the sun because my phone will overheat and then the apps will close.
Oh,
I'm like, no.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen in this hot ass Texas weather here, like 100 degrees or whatever.
Speak one more
No,
thing
I'm
before we.
just keeping my
Oh,
phone from overheating. Oh, go ahead, Amy.
oh, I just wanted to tell Tanya, do you have your crystal cards near you
Yeah.
that we could pick, maybe later, pick a
Sure.
crystal for, let's see what we're in for this week.
Yeah.
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 Ooh,
Okay. That'll
I
be
like that.
cool. I have the same cards, but I
Yeah.
don't have them near me. All right.
Just do it now.
Are we going to do it now? Okay.
Okay, so this is the card that came up. Obsidian,
Ooh, obsidian.
which
Okay.
is true self-reflection. Right. Obsidian. I have any here. I do have some here. Obsidian is that volcanic
Mhm.
stone. Actually, I have one from Glass Mountain that I'll grab. Hang on.
Okay. True self-reflection.
Okay, so this guy from my friend gave this to me. She picked it up off of Glass Mountain in Shasta. I don't know if you can kind of.
Uh-huh.
It's a beautiful little piece. But there's a whole basically volcanic mountain near Mount Shasta that has all obsidian. So
Wow.
using this, working with it often, and for the last number of years, and it has that like deep connection, right, to our truth, right,
Mhm.
the light and the shadow. It's great for grounding. It's great for opening up that Earth Star chakra a foot below our feet
Mhm.
and really like reflecting into like how we're showing up, right? How we're being present, how we're connecting, how we are a part of the whole.
Wow.
There's an
That's great.
interesting exercise in this crystal oracle that has to do with obsidian, where you stand outside in the sunshine and you look at your shadow, and then you can take a bucket of salt water or water that you've done prayers on, or just turn on a hose and wash your shadow.
Oh,
Hmm. And
I
what does
like
that do
that.
for you?
It helps, I think, you be more aware, right, of your
Hmm.
shadow side. It helps you, you know, bring into a place of cleansing and clearing, right? Some of those
Hmm.
aspects that are working against you.
I was thinking waking up because the cold water, whoosh,
Hmm hmm
like wake it up, wake you up.
I'll
Yeah.
have to do that because I have the hose out there
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
yeah.
sitting in the yard. I'll try and play with that.
So you
That's
can say
cool.
prayers and set intentions, right,
Hmm.
on what you're doing, right, as you're washing your shadow, what you're clearing, what you're integrating, what you're bringing in for integration and healing.
I
Mm.
love it.
Yeah, and so that true self-reflection, right? It's like what we were talking about before. What is our practice? What
Mhm.
are the tools that we have in our toolbox, in our tool belts, that help us stay grounded and help us stay present, right? And you know that again, like AB always says, that your level of awareness is equal to your level of responsibility. So, you know, as we are holding space today for each other, we're also holding space for like a wider amount of people, right? And that's awareness and responsibility, but holding space for ourselves, right? To integrate all of these parts of us that are coming in for healing and integration from past lifetimes, from other timelines, from other time streams, dimensional realities, universes, and galaxies, right? From our multidimensional beingness. Like, how are we showing up in that way for ourselves?
Yeah, it kind of I'm taking the words apart because self-reflection is like the mirror, looking in the mirror, but what is true? What is the true self-reflection? Is that the essence I'm feeling? It's the essence of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the truth that I can just feel like kind of like coming out every time you're looking in that mirror, you're getting to the true self-reflection of who you are. Every time you question everything, you know, that you see. Yeah.
I mean, I think too, being honest with yourself,
Yeah.
right, about what is there, being
What,
able to
yeah.
look honestly about the work you need to do,
Mm-hmm.
about what's coming up, right, what we need to process. Like Alfredo was saying, he
Yes.
identified himself as a spiritual narcissist at one point,
Uh-huh.
right? Because after self-reflecting on his behavior and what was going on in his reality, it was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, maybe I am that,
Yeah.
right? But with
Yeah, it's
with
important.
dedication of spirit and daily practice, he's opened up and moved, through that stage of beingness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crucial to be brutally honest with yourself. And I was gonna say it earlier, but I've been putting myself, because I mean it's easy. It's like, oh, let me go to Andrew, let me go to this guru, let me go to this teacher to
Mm-hmm.
like get them to tell me about my problems that I fail to recognize within myself. And I could just be like, okay, Fredo, I'm gonna throw your ass on the fire and we're gonna grill the self right now. We're gonna like, let's be brutally honest. How do you feel right now? What's going on? Just
Yep.
inquire about it. Do the work and do it yourself. I mean, it's nice to have all these eyes, but there's some of these things you can do yourself when you're brutally honest with the truth of what's going on within you. So I've been making sure to grill the self, and I wrote this line in my journal, and I was reflecting because I had gotten so stuck in patterns, repetitions for a while. I was like, man, Fredo, you're just doing the same thing every damn day. You're not seeing change, repetition with no illumination. And I wrote it down. I was like, I want new experiences, but I'm unwilling to change. And I made sure to just stare that down for a second. Look at this, Alfred. Look at this right here. You want new experiences, but you're unwilling to change. This is a truth within you. Like, Like, all right, man, let's go out there, have some new experiences, try new foods, take the kids to just quit going home and doing the same old thing. It's like, we're going to the park. I don't know which park we're going to. We're just going somewhere. We're just going on an adventure. We're going to do something different. It's not going to be the same old thing where I sit down, fuck around on my phone anymore. Just be a better dad for y'all, it's so crucial and important to be brutally honest and self-reflect, and I'm going to veer into the next little thing here. I let my phone cool down. But yeah, I was able to see these things quite a bit after I had got this. I'll go ahead and whatever. So yeah, I've been listening to Linda, whatever, and they had like an episode. You probably saw it as well, Amy, but they were talking. It was like a week or two ago. It's like Linda's like, the only crystal you really need is this crystal right here, vanadinite. I was like, what? That's a bold ass statement you're saying there, Linda. The only crystal you need is a vanadinite. So I looked into it. I checked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to the crystal stores looking for it everywhere. It's like, y'all got some vanadinite? It's like, oh, vanadinite? Everyone's like corrected me. I was like, oh, whatever. I'm looking for the vanadinite. Where's it at? Oh, over here, we got there. Meeting all these weird ass people. It was cool and unique because the people in those crystal stores, they're just like on a different level. You can just tell just talking to them. They're just like totally, they're not your average people. They're just like in their own world. Like, oh man, I'm connected with all my other me's with this crystal right here, and it makes me a writer. Yada yada. It's like, oh yeah, awesome, man, hell yeah. You're so weird but cool at the same time, But yeah, I went in. I ordered one on Etsy for like $5.
Oh, that's what it is.
I have one. I'll
It was
grab
in
two
one-
to show you because
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bring it.
Wow.
I bought it and then it broke on me, and I was like, oh no, my vanadinite broke. So I encased it in beeswax with my shungite, and I was like, oh, let me just play this crystal alone, So I took it out, I started torching him, and I didn't realize how fragile it is. When I was torching it with my torch lighter, putting him in the beeswax, he just shattered into pieces like shit. Like, all right, I got to bring you back to life.
really,
So
it's
I
really
gathered all the little
fragile.
pieces. I encased them in the
Oh.
beeswax, and like you said, Amy, I like to collect little like items here and there because I never know if I'm going to use them. So I got a little bottle cap of my Eldorado water, put it in there, just bring it back to life. He's not over yet just because he's in small
Yeah.
pieces. I'm going to make sure he's got a
Well, and
So-
it's
second
actually
run.
good. It's actually good that
Crystal
you
is
have
awesome.
it coated because it is really toxic in its raw form. So
Yeah.
every time you touch it, you need to really.
Oh,
So how do you
wow.
pronounce the name of it? What's the
Vanadinite?
pronunciation?
Vanadinite.
Vanadinite.
Yeah, there you
Vanadinite.
That's what the crystal guys are telling me.
Vanadinite.
Wait, what color? What color is that? I see maroon.
It's like
Maroon?
yeah, it's like a brown with almost like mica in it.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Oh,
really,
mica. That's what I see. I
really
see the
bright.
mica.
You see the silver. It's
Mhm.
sort of like a reddish brown. Very similar actually to the hawk feather, right? To like the belly of a red-tailed hawk. Here's my feather.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So Alfredo has his hawk feather.
Yeah.
I have a feather like that too.
I have to go get
Years
my
ago.
feather.
This one like baby hawk, the spotted one.
Mm.
Yeah. So like thinking about like looking at that hawk feather on your ear and thinking about like that true self-reflection, the energy of the hawk, right? It's the bird that flies over the top of everything to get that, well, literal bird's eye view
Yeah.
of what's going on with us, right? So it's almost like having the objective distance and the ability to see truly
Mhm. Mhm.
what's happening.
Mhm.
Yeah. So as we're looking at ourselves and the world and the way that we are moving, we're in this Lionsgate open portal really right now, even though the Lionsgate itself is just a split second, but we're in that ramp up of the Syrian alignment that allows higher density energy to beam into Earth.
Mhm.
The roar of the lion, right?
Yeah, the roar of the lion. right? Talking about like lion, what is the spiritual spirit animal of lion, right? That that courage and presence and groundedness,
Mhm. Yeah, that stance, like,
Fierce.
yeah.
fierce,
Ooh, yeah, fierce.
but
Yeah.
also soft, also
Yeah.
soft,
Yeah.
right? That courage and fierceness that can come forward, but also the confidence of the confidence of having that courage and fierceness to have that soft allowance as well.
Mhm.
Thinking about the way that lions are together, like the females will hunt, right, and the male lion is the protector, but when they're lounging, they're all like snuggled and lounging together and grooming each other and you know loving each other, and you can just see that lion puddle of
Yeah.
lion puddle of
Of
love.
love. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
love
like that puddle of love.
that.
I also like what Andrew said about the present time that we're in is the Silver Age, and the Silver
Hmm.
Age ends in 2025, around that time.
Hmm.
And I thought to myself, well, moving from the previous age into the Silver Age, it's not a big window. It's a very narrow window that we will be present in the Silver Age. And after 2025, I'm like, yeah, we're going to be in the Golden Age then.
Well, and that's
So
also
things,
predicated on all of our behavior,
yeah,
right?
yes.
All of our awakenedness.
But he must see that as a strong potential after 2025, that we would probably be in the Golden Age. And then he said something about 2035.
35. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't remember what that was
I'm
about.
trying to remember myself what he said about 2035. But
Mm.
I was thinking about that 2035 date because I heard somebody else who do energy, I shouldn't say energy, where they do some sort of a measuring, and they saw that around the year 2035 there is going to be another change of some sort in the frequency. I'll have to go back and
Yeah.
see if I can find the recording and re-listen to that date, what they saw, how the frequency will shift.
It wasn't about the children, was it?
I
The
don't
chil-
know. I
yeah, I
don't
can't
remember.
remember. He said something about the children too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But he had mentioned the year 2053 before, remember? He had
There's a
mentioned
lot
that.
of things I've heard about 2038, right?
Mm.
Where we'll be, I believe, like that 2038 is when the whole solar system is actually within the full photon belt.
Mhm.
So we'll have
Mm.
that higher frequency light.
Streaming
Right.
into
Yeah,
our
yeah, we'll
sun.
just be totally bathed in it at that point, the whole solar system. So
Mhm.
I mean now, like the sun is fully in it, but as the planetary, the planets go around the sun, they go in and they go out, and they go in and they go out, right? So
Mhm.
we're not quite fully, the whole solar system isn't fully in it yet.
Yeah, and we have to remember there's 66 planets, so one could be in and then suddenly out because of where it's at, its orbit around. So that could make a difference. Like Pluto is really far out there.
It has a wide orbit. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I was saying about the year, he had mentioned 2053 is when we're going to see like aliens and stuff like that, on Earth. But now he has been saying 2050. So I'm wondering if the time is narrowing down now by 3 years, because he was emphasizing 2053 before. Now he's constantly saying 2050.
No, I mean, I think everything shifts a little depending
Mm-hmm.
upon the awakened, awakened enlightenment of humanity, right? It's an individual awakening, but as the four of us were talking about awakening earlier, like, what does it mean to be awake? And I'm not talking about woke. That's different,
No.
right?
All
Woke is
right.
That's different.
yeah.
We don't want a part of that.
So being able to back up and see the big picture, right, is also part of my awakening, right? And learning to back up and back up and back up even more and more, right? And still, I don't have that big picture, any kind of the big picture view that AB has, but I don't know if anyone on the planet actually does, right? Maybe a
Mm-mm.
couple people have the ability, but he's done the personal work and continues to
Yeah.
do it, which we all have to do.
So something that came to mind this week when you're talking about awake. So how I work is that I get these words in my mind and then I say, okay, what's the difference between those two? So because I'll tell you what I was doing, and the word risk came and the word challenge. What do you think about those energy feelings of each one? Because I do things like that are kind of like subtle. So all I was doing was I kind of was turning into my neighborhood and I went in front of this guy. I'm going to get in there. Now that was pretty risky because there was only 2 cars behind him. I could have waited. Was I being risky or was I taking a challenge? I don't know. And then this whole thing, it just went off into many directions. So
Well,
yeah,
you weren't challenging the guy.
no, because
So to me, you were taking a risk that you will make it before he got there.
but was it a challenge? Because am I challenging
You weren't
myself
you weren't challenging
I can do
anyone.
it. I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were
I-
challenging yourself to
Yeah.
go for it.
to go for the risk.
Put the
Yes.
pedal to the
Taking
metal.
the risk.
Put the pedal to the metal. I'm just going to go for the risk. Yeah. Okay. Because I didn't know. I'm like, what is that? What is the energy behind those words, risk and challenge? But
I was walking my dog this morning and walking home and busy time. Everyone's kind of like going to work and in their own, little
Mhm.
blinders. And I had her sit down at a corner because there was a car that was going to pass. I could tell he wasn't looking at me. And so
Mhm.
he passed, and then the guy right behind him just followed him right through the stop sign, didn't even stop. And I could tell, this guy was in a real hurry. He was driving a Challenger or a Charger, one of the
Uh-huh.
Dodge big engine cars. And he just, in the next block, he put the pedal to the metal, and the car went, and he just passed right
Yeah.
around the guy who was driving too slow for him. And I mean, these aren't wide blocks, right? There's room for 2 cars at the most, right? And that's a little tight still sometimes. So thought, gosh, I guess he's in a hurry.
I guess, but it wasn't even
Yes.
like I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even like I was in a hurry. I don't even know. It was kind of like a subconscious thing, because when I think about, then I thought, okay, what risk would I take? Would I ever jump out of a plane and parachute? That would be risky. I couldn't do that. This lifetime, I'm not gonna
But if
do
you had
that.
to save your life, you would do it.
Of course. So then,
You
but
wouldn't
if
think
somebody,
about it. You'll just do it.
right? That's true. You mean if the plane's going down and I'd have to jump out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a parachute on. You know you have to leave the plane. You have no choice.
Then it becomes neither a risk or a challenge, does it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Cancels it.
Well,
I don't know.
and was it a split-second decision that you had to make, right? Because you either go or you wait,
Or you wait.
right?
Right.
So that was
It,
almost
it was
like
almost
a
like
reaction.
impulsive. It was almost like impulsive. It was almost like, I can do it. And but it's like I could have, and then I'm thinking, I could have waited. There was only 2 cars behind him. I don't know. It was funny. And I
Maybe
just play these little things and I
maybe
think,
it was karma you had to work out with those two drivers.
oh, maybe. Maybe. But I think that I need to challenge myself more. Like I need to have those challenges like I did the 30-day challenge I posted on Earth Nouveau. It's like, that's what made me think of this. I have to challenge myself. It doesn't have to be risky. It doesn't have to, So that's kind of, okay, I'm getting it now. Okay, now that I talked it out with you guys. It's more of, I have to step it up. Step up my
Yeah,
game. Yeah.
I was about to say
Step up
that.
my game. Yeah.
Step it up all
So
the time.
thank you for that.
Well, and in waiting, it would have put you back more into that comfort zone.
Comfort. I wouldn't have even thought of risk or challenge. I would have never thought of those words after I did that.
So now, Amy, think of it this way. If you had waited, right,
Mhm.
for the 2 cars to go by, you would have delayed in that moment, say 15 seconds or 30 seconds. Now, maybe your higher self wanted you to go ahead that 30 seconds because you needed to be in a certain place at a certain time for a certain synchronicity to happen,
Of those words to come to me.
right?
Is that what
But
you're saying?
if you had waited that 30 or 15 seconds for them to go by, then you would have missed the synchronicity.
Of where I am with the word challenge, right? Of this stepping it up. Exactly.
Well, not necessarily. It could have been something was playing out in the moment where you needed to be at exactly at the right moment in no time, right? For a certain synchronicity to be in play for you to be a part of. But 30 seconds could have delayed you from meeting that synchronicity point.
Okay, so let me
Follow
ask
me?
you. Well, is being in no time a synchronicity?
We're always in no time if we claim that
Right.
we're always in no time, right?
Right.
Because that's the real time.
Right.
And I feel that's where synchronicity is just natural, just normal,
So they're
right?
happening all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what if those 2 cars were there to cock block you from meeting that challenge, but your higher self say, no, Amy, go ahead, go before those 2 cars. Get there. You have to. Don't let these 2 cars screw you over.
Oh, by waiting for
Mhm.
that 30 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Aha.
You
Okay.
get what I'm saying?
I can see that.
And by doing that, you could have changed the future. But
Yeah,
if
the
you had
subtle
waited the
changes.
30 seconds, then you would have been in a different timeline.
Oh, okay.
The doubt and hesitation, maybe.
So those
Oh,
those
doubt and
risks are sometimes
hesitation.
necessary in our reality.
Okay.
Even though we look back, in hindsight and say, why did we do that? We could have waited.
Right. That's what I said to myself. Why did I do that? I could
Yeah.
have waited.
Because I do that sometimes too. And I would say to myself, why did I do that? That was pretty risky.
Yeah.
But that extra 15, 30 seconds makes a big difference
Wow. Okay.
in your overall future.
Okay.
Because I was watching on the news they had just a couple of days ago, they said that how they measure the rotation of the Earth, right? And they said that I don't know exactly what they use, not is it milliseconds? we lost like 1 point something milliseconds of the Earth's rotation on the 29th of July. I think it's milliseconds they count. I could be wrong. But the last time that they counted that was some years back, that we lost that, tiny amount of time,
Mhm.
because then they have to set the clock back to 0, because the clock doesn't flow with the right time anymore because of those 1 point some millisecond lost.
Oh.
Because it switches every day, every 24 hours back to the 0 naturally, right?
Mhm.
With the rotation. But when they do the observation of the time, they count in the time, they had to reset the clock to 0
Is
because of the loss.
the Earth moving faster or slower? Is that why they lost the time? Like if it's in sync, right? Are you're not losing it? Maybe I'm
Well,
misunderstanding.
wait a minute. Did they lose time no, the Earth spin faster.
The Earth is spinning faster,
The
and so they're
Earth
losing
spin
time.
faster, so they lost 1 point some millisecond, right?
Or what?
Of time from the clock, the way the clock is being used to count time, right? Or Roman numeral clock.
The clock was in its own bubble of reality.
Yeah.
To
And then the Earth is
slower than
going
ours.
with universal,
is
yes,
yes.
rotation. But when they said that the Earth spin and got around the rotation faster, right? I'm thinking, but Andrew
Wow.
said that time had slowed down.
Wow.
So
What if they wouldn't change the time? That would be cool. If they didn't reset time, then what would it be? That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
well,
If they
it's
didn't
their
reset,
Roman numeral time blending into Earth's natural time. You see, Earth's natural time is more of the real time.
Well, and
right?
it's like the Roman numeral yearly calendar that has to have leap year every 4 years.
Mhm.
Right.
Wow. That'd be cool to just not change it to time. Just saying. Maybe in our new galaxy.
Mhm.
Yeah. So going back to you, maybe what you did was right for you to do, and not to feel guilty about
Oh
it.
yeah, no, I didn't. It just brought up those words, and so it led me to
Question. Yeah,
to
you question yourself about it. Did
I
you do the
did.
right thing? Did you do the right
It
thing by
wasn't
those 2 drivers?
it wasn't even about right or wrong. It was more about why did I just do that? I could have waited.
It's like you're feeling you disrespected the other drivers on the road by
No, I
cutting
don't.
them off.
Because I really didn't cut them off. It wasn't like it was like a natural thing, and I just kind of like did the turn. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the other drivers or cutting them off or anything. I just was questioning myself, like, why did
Just
I?
went for it instead of hesitated.
Yeah, it was almost like that's how I have to lead my life, instead of in that hesitation and doubt. Yes.
Like charge forward,
Yeah, like the
it's
momentum.
hesitation.
I wanted to keep my
Yeah,
momentum. I wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to stop. So I'm like, make that left turn. Woo. Yeah. Yeah.
Your
That's what
flow
it
is
felt
going.
like.
You got to keep going with that flow. You
Yeah, I
can't.
didn't want to stop.
I don't know. That's the way I see it. I
Yeah.
can't slow down my flow. My flow is going. Just got to keep up with it. Go, go, go. That's just me though. Let's say.
No, thank you for that. Yeah.
You were surfing the wave of time.
Yeah.
Surfing
like that.
the current of energy.
The current
Yeah.
of energy. I like that. Okay. I love it. I love that. Yeah. It's not a conclusion. It's just okay, now what next? Now. Yeah. Wow.
One of the many perspectives.
Yeah. There's so many.
And you've taken the
Yeah.
time now to reflect on it,
Mhm.
right? So you didn't hesitate, you went for it in that moment, and then now you've taken the time to reflect on it
Yeah.
and see how it's played in your reality, right? And how it's
Yeah.
changed your perspective about the way you want to live your life.
Yeah. It's almost as if I have like this zap of energy, like, whew, you know, like, let's see what else is out there. Let's experience other things. Yeah.
Off to the
Oh,
park
cool.
with you.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, out of your doing something different, right, that you normally wouldn't do.
Exactly what Ralfreda was talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
earlier. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You got a whole new perspective on it now because you're integrating the implicate and explicit order and changing it essentially. You know,
Yeah.
it made me think about
That's-
Andrew's material because we can
Yeah.
always go back to those past memories and observe them and gain a new perspective on them, and then they change and
Exactly. Yeah. I love that.
Great.
Cool. Yeah. So, Alfredo, did you have something to read? No.
Oh yeah, I just don't like to interrupt the flow when it's
Yeah.
going.
I
It's
feel
like the
like.
flow goes.
I think we're ready for Alfredo.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. Let's
yeah.
hear it.
Go
Oh,
for it.
yeah. Let me go back to my journal. Just keep my phone cool so it doesn't blow out on me.
Yeah.
No,
Stay in
we
the
don't want
shade,
that to
right?
happen.
No. Oh yeah, I know the energy is gonna ramp up.
Yeah.
So the observers
do-
and the watchers.
Should we breathe so that we don't explode anything?
Breathe.
Oh, me, I'm the breather, the master breather. That's one of my own little invocations. I am the master breather. I'm sure other people watching like, oh, this guy does is just deep breathe all the time. Yeah, that's me. That's what I do. I've had
Learning.
breathing experiences that I'm convicted that I know it's the ultimate all-encompassing teaching and grounding and fully embodiment practice that anybody and everybody should work to master. This hearing it from Linda, Andrew, and everybody, Wim Hof, all these badasses and masters. Breathing essential key to, meditation is great, revocations, invocations great, but in the heat of the moment when things are, going awry and chaos and confusion is everywhere, you always have the breath. You always have the breath, It's essential, crucial, important.
Most important tool in our toolbox, I think.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Well, one of the things that Andrew had said, and I think I may have posted it in Art Nouveau, is that he said the first thing to learn is breathing.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing to learn is breathing. And then he said, in my view, sun gazing with the eyes closed instead of the eyes open causes, he said, let me reread this. And then sun gazing with the eyes closed instead of the eyes open, because you can do it more often and not burn your retina out.
Yeah.
Why sun gazing? It's light. We are beings of light, and when we start to train ourselves to be beings of light, and we are mortal instruments in this being of light, we can expand our awareness of how to saturate ourselves with light and grow light and not be dirty light. Because the dirty energy underwear of social media is constantly like dishwater, always dirty.
Filthy.
Filthy.
So
So
breathe.
breathing
That's-
first and sun gazing second.
Mhm.
Breathe and feel the sun on the top of your head and feel the sun on your face. Bringing that
Yeah.
light, bringing in the light.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. All right. I might make this the closing statement, but or y'all else want to add some stuff too as well. But I feel like it'll be a nice end on a high note for this
Yeah.
gathering we had. It was very cool. It was energies were different for sure.
Yeah.
Just the four of us. All right. Okay, you just breathe along or whatever you feel comfortable doing. I'm just gonna let it rip. Get in the sun so I can. And this is just my own little creation I was doing because I was thinking like, oh, what am I gonna do for the gathering? I'm gonna do my rap, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna do a motivational speech, or I don't know. I was like, I just wrote this down and I was like, maybe I'll integrate this if I feel like it. You know? Oh, here we go. So it's kind of like a mix of inspirations from all sorts of things or whatever, but yeah. Just remember to connect with that heart, feel the sensations, and breathe. I always like what Brian Vesco would do, the Trinity breath. It's like take your first breath in from Mother Earth, breathe in the heart of Mother Earth into your heart. Breathe in that universal spark energy of universal source creation into your heart. And then breathe in both simultaneously, connecting with you. In this ever present moment, clear my mind, clear my thoughts, clear my frequency. Because I, in this moment and now, actively choose to override and disengage all excessive thought processes with full conscious awareness and focus on breathing deeply into and out of the heart. Breathing in radiant, luminous lights and exhaling love in a rhythmical fashion. As my heart is the apex organ, which connects to my vagus nerve. Central nervous system, sympathetic, parasympathetic, emanating light throughout my entire body, like a radiant tree of light. Extending outwards in between all of my cells, muscles, fascia, allowing them to relax, unwind, unravel, and release all the tension existing within. Releasing all the density I hold within as I continue this ongoing process of letting go of all excessive information and stimulus that does not serve my highest and greatest good and the highest and greatest good of all. With my powerful light, I have the divine responsibility to use it wisely with deliberate and focused intention and full presence every moment to moment, not allowing myself to continue to be run by the ego mind, as my heart is the dominant connection. Heart-mind resonance is the true source connection. I'm gonna clear mind, a clear heart, and a clear guts. This Trinity, a superluminal being of light that is my natural state of being in full presence, emanating peace, love, harmony, and balance. As a standing emanation from the heart of equal co-creation with others, not caught in competition with other beings, and not a form of any hierarchical system whatsoever. As I actively choose to connect to the north and south aurora borealis dreamtime hub of interconnectivity, able to recall and remember all dreams that serve me. As today is a brand new day, new energies are coming forth. It is important to remember to let go of the past and not go so caught up in the mind, time traveling to the future. As this moment here is precious, it is eternal, it is glorious, and it is perfect. In this moment, I continue to correct my posture, remembering to pull my shoulders back and aligning my spinal column to be that super antenna of universal source energy that it is. As I visualize and I anchor from the unseen to the seen, a golden rainbow of fire light within my heart. This radiant ball of fire surrounded by an omnidimensional rainbow ring, pulsing out like waves that changes and alters my reality, anchoring in the highest ascended frequency world that is already here now. This light transmutes and transforms the reality around me, as I am a conduit of divine source creationary energy. It is not just about me. It's about all of us living in harmony and balance with each other, as love is the gift that keeps on giving infinitely. As love is infinite, it knows no boundaries. It is inherently limitless and cannot be contained or controlled by anything or anyone. The heart is fiery, passionate, live freely, and is here for experiences rich and delicious. And it does not care for right, wrong, good, bad, light, or dark. It simply is sacred neutral, a state of unconditional love for all, as it processes for information and full fluid flow. Allow yourself to feel this guidance compass within you and not get caught up in distractions of the ego mind. As I am in control of this ego mind, I am not my thoughts. The heart does not have thoughts, bro. It simply feels. As we continue forth in this journey, let's make the most of every precious moment we have together. Cherish the heart connections you have with others and continue to love each other with all of your hearts. Thank you for all your time and presence, everybody. I'm grateful for everybody here that give me, we have a community, a supportive community to help support each other's, and this is my, repayment and gratitude. Call out to anybody and everybody, that's part of the Earth Nouveau gatherings. It's just a precious place that I cherish within my heart, and I'm just grateful to be here with y'all. And yeah, I want to say this too as well. It's like, and to end on it, it's like, what is it? And I feel like deep down within, I have a divine responsibility to be the best version of myself that I can be. Not only for myself, but for others around me, family, y'all, everybody. And holding the space. Yeah, self-mastery, y'all. I'll leave it at that. But thank you. I love y'all.
Thank you, Alfredo.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone,
Alfredo.
today. I think that's a great note to end on. Self-mastery and being the very best selves we all can be in every moment.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Alfredo. That was wonderful. I had to step away for a second, so I didn't hear the whole thing, but I'm sure on the replay I will. But is that all right if I add something to that? I wrote a little piece on fear. And if you guys don't mind, I'll add it in together with what Alfredo just said.
Go for it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me read that off. Fear is a four-letter word in the English alphabet that has lost its power in my reality. A word without substance to back it up. It is not my guide, my guardian, or my angel. It has no place or space in the realm of the real. Fear. It has no scent, no essence, no color, no taste, no touch or sensitivity, no sight, no sound. It is null and void. Therefore, it has lost all its potency in reality to frighten me in any way, shape, or form. It's just a four-letter word with no power back of it. But truth has power back of it. Honesty has power back of it. And so it is. Aho.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful, Lana.
Thank you.
That's very powerful.
Because
Yeah.
fear is so rampant in our, everywhere. So I had to write something down on paper and make it real, solid, real now, for my own sake,
Mhm.
And so I'm glad I have this opportunity to just present it. So someone else who might be in fear of something might find some comfort with the words to overcome those fears that are being presented and not to have to live with fear.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lana.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great.
thanks for listening
Nice
and
to
for
connect
holding the
with
space.
everyone.
Yeah.
And I just want to say one note about the spirit animal I've been working with over the last 12 days or so, the spider, the rainbow spider. And as we're working on creation of a galaxy, the spider comes in and weaves her web, creating, and it gets destroyed and it gets recreated and destroyed and recreated. And so I'm just looking at what I'm destroying and recreating in my life, in my practice, and what's being destroyed and recreated in the global narrative, in the world. How are we showing up to change that?
Mhm.
And again, like Alfredo says, it always starts with the heart, with ourselves,
Yeah.
with the heart. So thank you
Beautiful. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing that.
for muting today, and
Yeah.
see if I can figure out how to how to post this up. So
Okay. Thanks,
love and
guys.
light to all y'all, and we'll catch you the next time.
Thank
Okay.
you, Tanya, for hosting.
Bye.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks
And
so much.
I know that you'll be able to put it up
Yeah, I'll figure it
in your
out.
YouTube, and then you'll link it to Art Nouveau.
I'm a techno wizard, so
Yeah.
I'm sure
Cool.
I'll figure it out. All right, love y'all.
Bye.
Love
Love
you
you.
too. Bye bye.
Bye.